Okay, so this is part 3 of the transcript. The case, this is a transcript of the August 19th, 2024 civil case RP22120163. He filed a separate additional complaint, a quiet title action, which he claimed falsely that he was the owner of the house. Another lie. A quiet title action is who owns the house. He filed a template form that he got off the internet, and he copied it down to file the lawsuit. In that quiet title action, the judge highlighted that he was lying to the court is not acceptable. Another lie. The judge ruled, man, this guy can't stop lying. It is called perjury. It's one of the many reasons why he needs to be declared a vexatious litigant. Being given, this guy commits perjury all day and night. Given the status of a vexatious litigant will not only protect others from his baseless lawsuits, it would be in his own interest as it will protect him from committing further acts of perjury. This guy is known to the world as a vexatious litigant. You know how many complaints to the Bar Association against this guy? So despite multiple warnings of excessive pleadings were depleting the trust, they never offered any money to the man or his sisters, okay? His attacks were not limited to the court filings, so he brought his attacks into the public domain through defamatory statements. Attacked Ferris trying to hurt his reputation. Not trying to hurt his reputation. He says, excuse me, where's our inheritance? He has 2 sisters who are starving and homeless, and they need their inheritance. Where's their inheritance? You took all the money. You didn't give them anything. Did you offer the sisters their inheritance? Well, everything that the brother gets, the sisters are supposed to get. So did you offer them anything? No. So why are you acting as if this is the only beneficiary? He attacked Ferris to hurt his reputation among his colleagues through telephone calls, emails, multiple slanderous YouTube videos, signs in front of the synagogue, attacked Ferris, his wife, their children, the attorney's wife, all attempting to ruin the reputation of those who he perceived as enemies. He's trying to alert the community that they didn't get their inheritance, and that could you convince the guy, because if he's supposedly part of this religious community, to give them their fair share of the trust. The trust said $30,000 plus 10% interest a year until paid in full, or it would become a permanent interest-bearing lien on the property until paid in full. Have they done that? No. They just took the money, it's all gone, and they're making up some story about some imaginary settlement offer that they never gave. Why don't they have evidence of a settlement offer to the person or his brother? They don't. I'm not going to even mention the vile and shameful context of his attacks. I can't bring myself to describe his reference, just calling them evil curses from God. What kind of person does that? This leads to my final point. The parent-child dynamic. Oh, yeah. So he's trying to justify disinheriting 3 elderly Jewish siblings who didn't get a penny except $4,000 5 years ago. He's trying to say it's okay that they gave the $1 million worth of real estate to the 2 daughters for $80,000, but they're never supposed to get it because the trust says they can only get 25%. And so he sold it to them for $80,000, but they don't want to live there. One lives in Washington, one's working in UCLA. They don't want the house. The trustee's wife wants the house to sell it. Just go call her up and ask her. You'll find out. Okay? So it says, the parent-child, the bond is not soluble. It doesn't dissolve. It may be broken, but it's not easily broken. The bond between the cancer patient who died and his daughters did almost break. It broke. He didn't hear from him for 6 years before he died. It happens in families. Families go through traumas, and in this family, the split that happened, no doubt he took his brother's side. He said he was a lawyer. But the parent-child relationship, perhaps more than any other relationship, parent-child relationship can heal. Scars will be there, but the wounds can heal. He may not be able to appreciate the durability and the depth of the bond between a father and his daughters. Kindness, forgiving, acceptance do not seem to be part of his emotional vocabulary. We hear about Maxine's letter to her father, letters in which Marguerite sees undue influence. His letters were motions, movement towards healing the relationship with her father, and her father's change of estate was perhaps a motion. Her father's change of estate was written when he was in a coma, okay? Her letters, of which only shows a fragment, taken as a whole, are beautiful, kind, revealing letters to her father. Did they influence Lee? No doubt they influenced him. Lee, he was in a coma. Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure he was deeply moved. What father would not be moved receiving a letter from his daughters, like Maxine's letter to Lee? He was already in a coma. 90% of people die in 6 months, and he was still alive for a few days. He was already in liver coma, decompensated liver disease. His stomach was filling up with fluid every day, had to be drained every day. He couldn't even keep his eyes open. He was in a permanent coma, and supposedly, according to Rogers, who got $57,000 out of this, he's just a totally normal guy. The legal issue here is whether the letters constitute undue influence. That's excessive persuasion under the law. Looking at the letters through the brother's lenses, perhaps he does see undue influence, or perhaps he's making it all up, or he's lying like he lied about the owner of his brother's house. That was a template on a online template for a lawsuit. The evidence will show that the changes that Lee made to his estate plan, but he was in a coma. How can you make a change to your estate plan when you're in a coma? He was in a coma the last 6 months of his life. This guy is talking garbage. Ultimately leaving his house to his daughters. He didn't leave the house to his daughters. Here's another lie. It says 25% to this one, 25% to that one, and the majority portion of the estate depends on a settlement agreement. And the settlement agreement says the mother leaves her half of the house to the daughters, and he leaves the majority portion of his half to the daughters. I mean, who is this guy fooling? He's just on drugs, okay? Was the product of deliberation, conversations with his attorney, deep soul search, conversation with his attorney, but he's in a coma. He was hospitalized 150 days in the last few months before he died. He was in a constant state of coma. You can talk to people when you're in a coma? Baloney, okay? When he made changes to his estate plan, he was not acting under the spell of the moment. His process in contemplating the changes was slow. Like there was no healing. I'm confident the court will look at the situation through the lens of justice and fairness, include that, the loving letters of the devil that never saw her father in 6 years, expressions of love. You don't see your father in 6 years, and you send one letter and saying, don't leave the house to strangers, we might need a place to live someday? Not evidence of undue influence. Lastly, evidence will show that Lee was fully competent at the time he signed the August 19th trust. During that time in his life, he was still working. He was not still working. Oh, this guy is such a liar. He was still working, going to shul, rabbi's shul for morning prayers. He was carrying on conversations. He was working. He knew what he was doing. There will be no competitive evidence to the contrary. Oh yeah? Check the medical records. Thank you, Your Honor. All right, thank you. Let's have a 10-minute recess. Okay, so here we go. Now the other bozo's coming on. We're back on the record in the matter of the Lee Ziprin 2019 trust, and that was the trust dated August 19th to 26th of 2019. He was in a coma. He died a few months later. Okay, he was hospitalized 4 times in a liver coma, right up to the time he died. He was hospitalized 3 weeks at a time, then he came home 2 weeks, then he went back in, all for a coma. Then he came home 2 weeks, then he went back in, then he went home 2 weeks, then he went back in, then he went home 2 weeks, then he was back in, then he came home for like 3 weeks or something, and then he went back in and died. So this guy is talking more garbage than you could ever begin to imagine. Okay, Second Amendment. Okay, so here's the attorney for the daughters who stole the property away from the siblings and didn't give them a lien on the property. It says, it's irrevocable trust says, pay these people $30,000. And Rogers made himself a beneficiary in the trust. You're not allowed to do that. This is estate planning malpractice, okay? he made himself a beneficiary of the trust, and hold on a second. Okay. It says here, Second Amended Trust includes a cause of action for elder financial abuse by undue influence that's directed towards the two daughters. To prevail, he needs to prove that a preponderance of evidence that